Welcome to New York Brothers Broadcast. Your host, Kevin, and my brother, Ken. How you doing, brother, man?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's been a crazy summer. Unfortunately, we haven't done too many videos this summer, but it's been a good summer. A lot of stuff happened at the beginning of the summer, and then we just cooled off after that. Um, we made a last video, and boom, Mikal Bridges gets traded, which I would have told you right now. I would have thought maybe 2% chance it happens. Maybe 0 to 5, anywhere from there. I would have shot, no chance, no chance. But the Nova guys are back. They're together. How do you feel about it?
I'm excited. I thought it was a great trade. You know, some haters say that we gave a lot for Mikal Bridges, but honestly, besides the 2031 pick, the next, 4 years are going to be very, very high picks because, you know, except for injuries, we should be a playoff team every year for the next 4 years at least.
So 2031, what's that? 6, 7 years from now?
So we're entering the 24-25 season
Yeah,
of 6 years.
6 years. So I think the oldest right now is Julius Randle, right? Like at 28, 29. And he's not really like as much the core of like the Nova core.
Right.
So, but let's just use him as an example. Let's say he's 29. I should can go and check it out. But what I want to point out is like add 6 years to that, and he was born in 94. Add 6 years to that, and so he's 30, and he'll be 36. So that's like at the already your prime is up, but Brunson will be 33, 34. Kel Bridges will be 33, 34. You know, a lot of people will be in their early 30s. So
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt. I do agree though, they gave up a lot. I'm not gonna lie. 5 first round picks. If you would have said that 2 years ago, giving up 5 first round picks for Mikal Bridges, you would have said, hell no. But the way the market changes, the way that you see a first round picks don't become anything. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's hit or miss, you know. It was worth it. It was worth it. This is the best team since the Jason Kidd, Carmelo Anthony days, you know, and
Yeah.
the
Back
expectation
in 2011
the
or
expectation is
12.
to get 1 round better, if not 2 rounds better. You know, we have to win our second round now. It's dire need. Um, tell me, I was gonna ask you, what don't you like from this trade, or what do you think we're still missing on this team? But I don't want to start the conversation there. Um, I usually think before this year that the Knicks aren't a top tier team. Do you think they're a top tier team in the East now?
Yeah. I would say they're second or third best behind, obviously, the Celtics. Celtics are obviously the top dog since they won the championship. And then, the Sixers. The Sixers got better on paper.
Yeah.
So as long as they don't get injured with, Embiid or Paul George, I mean, they're going to give a lot of teams a run for their money. So, um, yeah, I would say that we're second or third best.
Yeah, I think the Sixers are gonna. They have two very, very injury prone guys. You know,
Correct.
it'd be a miracle if both stay healthy together. I'm gonna assume that they won't stay healthy all year. They're gonna miss some games. They're also gonna rest them a lot, and they're gonna have them ready for the playoffs. You know, they're not. I don't think they're gonna be a home team, but they're still scary. You know what I mean? You're trying to avoid that. I hope they don't
Yeah,
end up 7 or 8 because I think we're gonna end up 1 or 2.
they're going to do a lot of load management on Embiid and Paul George, right? Because they know that with Paul George, you only got like maybe 2 3 years,
Mhm.
right, to win it all. You don't really know what Embiid really gets hurt all the time, so it's very inconsistent being on the court. Um,
But
so you
I
got to be
don't see
careful.
this team like the Clippers that were able to handle low because the Clippers were very deep, very deep. They had a lot of wings. I mean, they had besides Paul George and Kawhi Leonard at the wings, they had Morris, one of the Morris brothers that we traded to them. That's how we got quickly. They had Norman Powell, who's a six-man candidate. They had Amir Coffey, decent player, not great. Terrence Mann could play shooting guard, small forward at times. They had Lou Williams at one point. Now they don't. They have Russell Westbrook. They had a very deep team. I don't see the depth on this team, on this Sixers team. I mean, I think if you lose Joel Embiid for extension of 10 to 20 games, it's gonna be hard to overcome that. I mean, I know Tyrese Maxey, they're gonna have to ride him all year. They're gonna have to carry Tyrese Maxey have to carry this team all year until the playoffs. But how far is that guy gonna go? With no other help if they're hurt. So I don't think they're gonna be a top four team in terms of standings. That's my opinion. And I don't want to.
So
I noticed that you didn't mention the Bucks. No faith in the Bucks.
I mean, they'll be up there. You always have Giannis and Damian Lillard, but I mean, it's the one team that did nothing this offseason. I mean, we kept talking about it when all these trades kept coming in. I kept texting you like Giannis must be looking and being like, God damn, like we're not doing shit, you know?
Their
So they did not improve. I don't
best
know
Gary Trent.
if oh that's right, they added Gary
Got lucky.
Trent,
They
which
got lucky
was
with that move.
yeah.
Gotta admit that.
I don't
They
even
got
know if
lucky.
that moves the needle really, but
It doesn't really move
um
the needle, but it really does help them in a position that they have no guards or wings right now.
right.
It really helped them. Don't get me wrong. Again, he's just a backup. He's gonna start for that team, but he is just a backup. He couldn't even start with the Raptors. So tells you a lot how much but I still, again, when you have Giannis, who's just a tad under Joel Embiid, you got a chance. You always have a chance, you know? And I just heard today that or yesterday, uh Mitchell might not be ready to start the season. How concerned are you about that?
I mean, I want him for playoffs. That's it. This is a guy that he knows his position. He knows what he's supposed to do. So I don't think he needs to gel with the team or anything like that. So I'm not concerned about starting the season without Mitchell. Um, I think playoffs is when we're really going to need him. So that's more concerning. Um, I'm not really concerned. Maybe this will help Sims get better. I don't know, or we really truly know what we have with Sims. Like we really cannot rely on this guy and move on. We saw that Precious Achua made a step forward when Mitchell went down and Hartenstein, took the starting role and Achua was a great backup. So we'll see what we have. It's going to be a lot of small ball with this team. We're going to bring back that small ball, that fast pace.
But Tom Thibodeau's
You
not
know,
known for that. So we're hoping.
no, he's not, but he's gonna have to hopefully adjust, to what he has to the roster, you know.
One
So
reason why I think you might be right is because we did see Anunoby guard Joel Embiid, and I'm not saying he guarded him for a whole game. I'm not saying he's guarded him all year. I'm not saying he guarded him all series. But if you can steal 5-10 minutes at Anunoby at center, and if you notice, I don't put Joel Embiid there because I don't think Tom Thibodeau likes that. I would try it, but Tom Thibodeau doesn't seem to like that. But I think he'd rather start Anunoby at the center star, and then Julius Randle still at the power forward, and you put in Josh Hart who can play power forward, small forward. A lot they can handle the rebounding. You'll lose up shot blocking there, but I'm gonna be honest with you, it does concern me. I think the center position does concern me a lot. Um, I agree with you though that they should keep an eye on the playoffs. That even if Mitchell's not going to be there during the year, keep an eye on the playoffs. But they still have the mid-level exception around $5 million. I do think they should sign somebody, but there's nobody. There's nobody. They
yeah,
just
there is
tried
nobody.
out Omer Yurtsevich. You know him, the center from the Heat, who had a couple good games with them.
Yeah,
And it seems like he did not have a good workout, and they don't want to sign him. But what do you they have and I believe they have to use that 5 million, and I'll tell you why. When the trade deadline comes, you're not touching any of the top 8 players, right? Besides, you might touch Miles McBride because you need his salary in the trade, and you can do it they hope, with Tyler Kolek. They got to see how he does during the year. But if you add, let me see now, Miles McBride at 4.7 and either Precious or even Cameron Payne at 3 million, you start building up to $10 million. Kiara Beta Diop, and then a 10 million to $12 million center. There's going to be plenty of them available at the trade deadline. So, do you think these centers are going to be with Precious and Sims good enough to take us to the trade deadline?
Yes, yes,
No
I think so.
concern. No concern at all.
No, I mean we're gonna struggle with teams like the Sixers, teams that have bigs who really post up, right? Not really necessarily bigs like you know because really, what bigs are there that
You're right.
offensively you're
You're right.
concerned, right?
I
Besides
saw, I saw you.
Jokic,
I saw you
Embiid,
thinking about it.
and
You're like, what?
Wembanyama,
Yeah, you're right.
you know, there are not many centers that you're gonna say, "Oh my God, they're gonna give us the business."
I mean,
So,
you could throw Julius and Anunoby at Giannis, so you don't have to worry there. You're right about Joel and Jokic, and I think you change your defense at that point. You don't keep it the same way. You don't play man to man. You play a team defensive oriented. You might have to give up some threes to get the center not to post up as much. But you're right. After that, I mean, I'm looking at the whole Eastern Conference, and there's not one more player that scares you at posting up.
right.
So,
And I think like if Achua styles his game to like a Tristan Thompson, focus on the rebounding and defense, and that's it, man. That's gonna get you a contract at the end of this year.
that's what he's.
Somebody's gonna pick you up.
Yeah, you're right, man. There's no centers out there. With this new rule, it's going to be so hard to get one though at the deadline. I mean, it's crazy. You don't want to be hard cap. You hear all these expressions. You don't want to be hard cap if you trade a dollar over, if you take in more salary than you sell out. So they don't want to be hard cap. So it's like, man, I don't know. It's just going to be weird. It's just going to be weird. It's going to be hard.
But
It's
that's what I
creativity.
was reading. Like we're probably not gonna do the 5 million unless a player really does become available, because I think next year it resets for us where the something with like the hard cap or whatever I was reading. It's so confusing, but you know what? They do a good job hiring
Yeah, they got
these
that.
guys,
I'm looking at it
these
now.
white boys that know how to
Uh,
read the rules and manipulate them. I'm
man,
telling you, every time we get better, they always got to change the rules. They're like, oh,
I know. Mitchell, Mitchell has this year and next year. Don't be surprised. They
they
end up
flip them.
they flip him eventually. Don't be surprised. At one point,
Yeah,
you know, I like him. I like him as a backup though. I want to keep him
it,
though. I want to keep him. I like Precious, but I like Precious as a backup or a third center. Hardenstein would have been perfect, but it is what it is. You got to move on. You
I
know,
mean, Mitchell healthy, he's the best defensive center.
arguably,
So nah, I would say he's the best. There
probably
was
Gobert.
nobody touching. Nah, I don't even know. This guy was averaging the most offensive rebounds, even like being 2 months gone. Like that's how crazy it was, the numbers that he was putting up. So it's just he just can't stay healthy. That's the problem.
So
We'll see. Give
that's
him some
I agree with you.
steroids or something.
They should do the Joel Embiid approach with him and not play him as much and let it even rest him some days. Like, all right, I know you're like fast paced games, like the Pacers. Like, you know what, we're not gonna use you today. Let's rest you. We don't want you running up and down the court, more high chance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Teams that have play super small ball, like, we don't want to take advantage of you. Let's
Like teams like the Magic, right? That's kind of like where you want to sit them out, right? Because they play with like pretty much 3, 4 forwards, right? Just like these 6'10" guys. So you have guys that can, keep up with them with Mikal Bridges and OG. So
I'm actually looking at the Magic as a trade partners for the deadline because they kind of have four centers and Paulo Banchero can play center too, making it five. I mean, you got Wendell Carter, Maurice Wagner, and you have Goga Bitsats. Well, I really wanted to sign Goga, whatever, but I don't even know how to say his name. But he went for more money. I understand.
Goga Bitadze.
Tatse, yeah, him. Those three. And then you have the skinny guy who always gets hurt. What's his name? The guy who's always hurt. He's the defensive juggernaut.
For the Magic?
Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan Isaac, he could play center because he's 6'11", and Paulo Banchero could play center. So, and Paul, you're gonna see Paulo Banchero play some minutes at center. He's 6'10", 6'11". He's a big guy. You're gonna see him at center. They're gonna trade one of these guys. Watch.
They have to. They
Yeah.
have to trade like Cole Anthony or Jalen Suggs, somebody to make room
They have
for
a lot
that
of guards
roster.
too. They have a lot of
They
guards
do
too.
have a lot of guards.
Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, and they have the guy from the Sixers. What's his name?
Markel Fultz.
Okay, Fultz, he's a bum, but
Yeah,
still there.
Contavious Caldwell Post.
Well, he's a shooting guard, small forward, so I understand that one. They're gonna keep that one. They just drafted Anthony Black. He's a point guard. They drafted him last year,
Yeah,
rookie year, and they like him. They like him a lot. I don't know where you're gonna play all these guys, but it's what happens when you collect too many picks. Sometimes you know
sure.
you end up like getting rid of these players, never reaching their potential, and then teams like the Knicks should come scoop them up. I mean, you have noticed that the Knicks at centers know how to develop centers. They made Mitchell into somebody. They made Hartenstein into somebody. They made Precious Achiuwa into somebody. They took the 58th pick, Jericho Sims, into arguably almost a backup. The 58th pick, never make it. They never make it. It's
Yeah.
about a 2 to 5% chance that they make it into the NBA to play. Just to play. This my man actually earned rotation minutes, got to the slam dunk contest, got a contract and everything. So they know how to develop centers. I wouldn't mind them if they get a developing young center like Walker Kessler. I wouldn't mind that at all. I don't love Walker Kessler though. I don't like how slow he is. I don't like that he has no offense. He can rebound, but he's not fast to the rebounds. He can block. But one dimensional like that, just a shot blocker, I'm not in love with. I know like all offseason we talked about him, but I really wanted to get Goga or Moritz Wagner. Those two were my guys this offseason, and they just slipped after Hartenstein signed, obviously. And they both signed, and it really broke my heart. I was like, damn, we could have
We
turned.
we we went from a team that never had wings to like now we have like an overabundance of wings
Yeah, I know. We
with
had
like
no wings. That's
OG.
all I wanted. I was like, gotta get one
Yeah,
of the wings. I was like, we gotta get one. Remember, I said we gotta get one of a newbie, Mikal Bridges. And I used to mention guys like Paul George and Dorian Finney-Smith. I was like, we gotta get one of these guys. So we ended up getting two of the arguably the best ones. And in their primes, around 25 to 28 years old, both guys. I don't know how old that newbie is. I know
and then
Mikal Bridges
we
is
and then we
27.
drafted the young kid,
Yeah,
19 years old.
but
He's
Coma,
like about
six eight,
6'8",
six
6'8",
eight.
6'9".
I don't know if anything's gonna become with that. I like McCullers. I
I don't
think
know. People say that the kid is special, but I don't know. We'll see.
I got it.
It's gonna be a while until.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be 2, 3 years. You're
Yeah,
gonna do the G League this year.
yeah.
They wanted to send him to Europe. He said no. I want to play. And instead of like they're like, well, we're not gonna miss out on a first round pick. We're not gonna just cut you. You know, what I mean, it'd be what a waste of a pick. So they had to sign him. Don't get me wrong, man. If he shows a little bit of improvement, it's a trade asset. It's a trade asset, and it's also salary. Let me see what his salary is. That'll help.
And you know what? It'll help like when because you know OG's gonna get hurt.
Oh, two
Like
million.
my man is gonna have like turf toe or something. Throughout the year. So that's when in games that maybe don't matter or whatever, he might let the rookie play for a little.
So
So it'd
what
be
do you?
nice to see.
I don't see it happening. Let
That's
me.
true. With
Let me
Tibbs will play Daquan Jeffries all 48 minutes before he plays a
so
rookie.
this is going to be recorded. It's going to be on the internet, so we can always go back. Over under 100 minutes played for the first round pick for the whole year, obviously. 100 minutes,
100 minutes. I'm trying to see if that's a lot or not.
huh?
I'm trying to see if that's a lot or not. For
That's
like
five minutes per game, 20 games, or
um,
50 games,
I'll
2 minutes per game.
I'll say maybe a little bit over.
I say under. All right. Tyler Kolek, 250 minutes. Over under.
That's about right. Maybe a little bit over.
I'm gonna say
I
over.
think I think he's gonna really like this kid.
This kid is a second round pick, got paid more than the first round pick. Did you know that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Isn't that crazy? That's that they're
That
gonna
is cool.
he broke the record for I think most ever paid second round pick. Don't get me wrong. Next year it'll get broken again, and the year after that it'll get broken and it just keep going up. But still, this kid broke the second round pick most paid ever. That's
See, the one thing that Tibbs loves besides defense is that he loves players that hustle.
mhm.
And that kid
Gives it everything
hustles,
to
man.
John.
Yeah, every single minute, right? And that's why you saw Miles McBride get so many more minutes, right? Because when he's in the court, he plays, doesn't stop. Josh Hart, he played him all 48 minutes. Why? Because that guy does not stop. and he just loves guys like that, right? That gives everything. So I see Tyler Kolek playing,
I think you're
getting
gonna see Tyler
minutes.
Kolek pretty early. I think you're gonna see him pretty early. Like season starts around October. I think you're gonna start seeing him in December getting minutes because I think they might transition over to him because they need to use McBride for salary cap purposes. Because they're not gonna touch even obviously the starting five. They're not touching that. And they're not touching Dante DiVincenzo, and they're not touching Hart. So that's seven. McBride is he's the odd man out, I think. I think McBride is the odd man out. They have too many wings, too many guys, 3-and-D players, and he's gonna be the one out. I don't know if you agree because he makes 5 million, and they're gonna add that to the salary just to make get a center.
I'm I mean, the way I see it as the backup is that I think Dante DiVincenzo is going to be the point guard, McBride is going to be the two, and Josh Hart is going to be the 3-4. Right, that's going to be mostly the backup minutes. Um, so I see Miles McBride playing a lot with the backup, but I think he'll get like maybe 15 minutes a game, maybe a little bit less.
Okay,
Um,
I can see that. Yeah, because you're gonna see this guy playing 36 minutes, so you're left with 12 minutes around there. Important
yeah,
game, 40 minutes, game blowouts. Brunson will play 32. I think that I'm calling it now. McBride will be traded by the deadline. They're going to use his almost $5 million salary, and they're going to use either Achua or if they can get a good starter, they'll use Achua because that'll bring it up to 11 plus whatever other player they add to it, either Cameron Payne or Keita Biats at 2.5 million or Jericho Sims at two. And they'll get up to 14, 15 million if they can find a starter. They'll use Precious Achua and then make Mitchell a backup. If they cannot find a starter, I think they'll use McBride. They'll keep Achua and they'll get a player just as good as Achua, and they'll keep the depth at the center position because Mitchell's too injury prone to depend on him. You have to play the season like he's gonna get hurt. And no
yeah.
offense, I have no faith in Jericho Sims. Nothing. I have
I mean, I don't blame you for that. He took a step back this year, and
the only
yeah,
way I have faith in him if he's backing up a guy who plays like 35 minutes a game. Like if he's backing up Joel Embiid, if he's backing up no Jokic, if he's backing up Hartenstein, I might accept it because Hartenstein is good enough to play 30 to 35 minutes a game. So I might accept him as a backup. But at this point, for him to be part of a trio of Mitchell and Precious, I think that's our problem right now. We're going to keep an eye on it all year. You're going to hear a lot of rumors about it all year round. I don't even
I
know
mean,
what.
we're gonna see. I know he hears it, so it depends on him, right? Is he gonna take a step forward, or is he gonna just crumble? Because this is literally his last shot, you know, before he becomes a G League player. Because nobody's gonna take him in after that. You know, he can't do anything. He's just very athletic, but you can find that anywhere. Um, so hopefully he puts in the work and comes out playing a little bit better.
He needs to. My thinking is where he needs to improve is in he needs to rebound better.
Yeah,
And he's a good rebounder. Don't get me wrong. He needs to get more offensive rebounds, more. He needs to become like a top 5 to 10 center rebounding on offense. He needs to block
he
a little
plays he plays scared. Like he needs to box out, and like, dude, you're gonna jump over everybody. So
more.
box out and
He's
jump.
fast too. He's fast.
Yeah.
Bring the afro back too. So I think it helps you.
How many minutes do you think OG's gonna be playing?
OG and Ananobi,
I mean, if you were smart, you can serve him to like 30, 30,
but he
like
won't. He
no more than
loves,
32.
that's like
I
one
know
of
he
his favorite
loves it.
players. That's his Luel Dang.
Yeah, for real.
He loves those players. The, the good things that we have depth. You know what I mean? Like you have heart. So it's like you're gonna see him rest sometimes. They're gonna like, oh, he sprains his ankle. Oh, we're gonna give him 2 weeks off. And it's something as fans we should understand that they're gonna be very cautious. I don't know because he's very injury prone. They're gonna be very cautious because they want him fully healthy for the playoffs. You know what I mean? How's Julius? Any word from Julius? I haven't heard anything. I think he's gonna start. He said he
Yeah,
was
I think I
yeah.
think I think they're saying that he's like pretty much ready.
but he's not starting actual basketball activities. Like he's barely playing scrimmages and stuff like that, I heard, which is weird. So I'm a little bit concerned there. I'm gonna wait a little bit because you still have, I think September starts the preseason or beginning of October starts the preseason, which is a month away. It's a month away already.
What's up with these injuries, man?
They're not done yet from last year. Like, Jesus, all summer.
They're taking forever.
I don't know. I am a little concerned our depth on point guard. I don't love it behind Brunson. It's a lot of creation you're losing Brunson. It's a lot. It scares me a little bit.
Yeah,
Tyler Kolek's not ready. McBride's very limited. Julius hurt. Um, Cameron Payne. It helped. Don't get me wrong. It helped. I mean, for $3 million, I would have got Tyus Jones, but he wanted a starting role. We couldn't provide a starting role at all, so I understand why he wouldn't have taken our money no matter what. I would have signed him to 5 million and traded him. I think you could have traded him for a center out there. But I understand. I understand. I think the one guy who's gonna lose a lot of minutes is gonna be Dante DiVincenzo. I think that
yeah, I agree with that.
he's gonna and I
He's
understand.
gonna fall down to like 20
Yeah,
at
I
most.
think I like him, but he should be the guy to go.
To trade, yes, but you need that shooting, right?
No, he gives you shooting, he gives you chemistry, so it won't be him. And you can't trade him because he's part of the Nova thing. So you lose that right away.
Yeah.
That
So
camaraderie.
it's gonna be fun to see, like, if he mix and matches these, right? Because you could put Brunson, you could put DiVincenzo, and then Bridges and Anobi, right? And even put you can put Julius on the five, and that kind of like
Yeah,
really creates space, you
you
know,
can.
huge space on that floor. Because Julius is a decent 3-point shooter, not great, but you still got to respect him when he shoots the ball.
How many wins we get this year? What's your number?
Then defensively, you would trade for Hart over DiVincenzo. I say 50.
50.
50. Why not? We did it last year.
That's weak, I said.
Oh, last week? I didn't hear you.
You think 50, they're gonna get 50 wins?
I said at least 50.
No, well, how many wins are they gonna get?
How many games are there in the season?
Two.
83?
82. 82.
Two? We'll say 60.
Wow, I'm gonna say 56. 56.
Well, 10 more, baby.
I mean, there's a chance. Everything has to go right. I think we're a better seasoned team than most coach because Thibodeau goes all out every game. Doesn't care. Doesn't care if it's playoffs, non-playoffs. Doesn't care if it's preseason. He's going all out there. I do think Celtics were very healthy last year, minus Porzingis. Very injury prone guy. They're gonna suffer from Porzingis again, and then somebody else might get a little bit hurt. Philly, again, they're the most injury prone team that there is in the NBA, in my opinion. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can think of somebody else, but as of right now in my head, they even beat the Lakers in being injury prone because LeBron does better than them, and he's 38. They're the most injury prone. Milwaukee, I need to see a little bit more. So I wouldn't be surprised we get the number one seed at all. I would not be surprised at all. I will be more surprised we get the fifth seed and then the one seed. I think anything lower than the three seed would be not living up
Yeah,
to what we can do. Maybe because injuries. Knock on wood. You lose Mitchell, you got a problem.
that hurts.
You got a problem. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, Precious can play 40 minutes a game because he's crazy like that. But it's not ideal. It's not what we want. You know, I wouldn't be surprised you're going to see a lot of centers in training camp. And they're just going to try to find somebody that they're like, why pay 5 million when we can get a guy, pay 1 million and just make him same thing as the other guys. Make him just as good as Precious.
Just got to rebound and defend. That's it, really.
That's all his expectations are.
Yeah.
Rebound, defend, you know?
If you
And
can do those two things, you'll get paid in the NBA.
yeah, they'll find a way. You'll find a way. You
Yeah.
gotta learn to specialize on one field, at least one field. And then you grow from there. Once you specialize in one, you get the second. When you get the second, you start trying to get the third. Try to learn a jump shot. I don't understand why these guys aren't putting 100 jump shots a day at the gym. To each their own, I guess.
That'd be great, man. Josh Hart can get a good 3-point shoot shot. Supposedly that's what he's working on in the offseason. So
I saw a game he was playing the other day, and he shot some threes. It was a scrimmage kind of game, like in the streets and stuff, not like inside gym. It was all right.
well, I forgot who they were showing. You ever seen the Brunson podcast? Podcast with Brunson and
I
Hart?
seen it here and there, but it's a little bit more personal than actual basketball. It's like funny and they talk about personal stuff.
Well, they had Mitchell Robinson and they were showing somebody shooting threes and making it. And he goes, "Man, that's like Summer Mitch." He goes, "Summer Mitch makes threes." Yeah, you know.
No, what was the thing they said? Who would you have a harder time scoring on, or who would you rather play against? Or who would you rather play one-on-one against? It was Hart, Mitchell Robinson, and there was somebody else, either Don or Brunson. No, it was
Oh.
Brunson. And he goes, well, definitely not Brunson. And then Mitchell goes, are we talking about Summer Mitchell or he goes, Summer Mitchell
Summer
makes
Mitchell
crazy stuff.
makes
Yeah.
threes.
He's a crazy
That
guy.
was
He's
great.
fun. Scuba's killing us already.
Yeah, season's gonna be fun, man.
Yeah, it is. It was a dream come true with Mikal Bridges. I didn't think it was gonna happen. Um, I thought best case scenario was gonna be Paul George, which I think if if we didn't trade for Mikal Bridges, right? Let's just say they would have been like, no, we're not, no matter what, we're not trading to him. We're gonna trade him to whatever the Grizzlies. They gave us 5 first-round picks and a younger two-player, whatever, which is potential because they have a lot of picks. They could have done something like that. Oh, OKC, we'll trade for Mikal Bridges, then that's trade him
Or the
to
Rockets.
or the Rockets. Yeah, exactly. And then I think we would have been in on Paul George, and I think he would have been ours because he gladly would have gone to New York and they gladly would have taken assets for him, especially picks, because they had an offer on the table for the Warriors and they just didn't want to take on more salary. They didn't like the pack. They wanted to give him Wiggins. They said no. Give us Kaminga. That was and they said no, Wiggins. And they went back and forth. They were giving up more stuff than just that. I think 1 first-round pick. But in the end, they let him walk. They got nothing for him. I mean, Draymond Green said it on his podcast. He's like, they'd rather let him walk than trade him to us. He goes, they get nothing now. He's a little bit bitter because he couldn't have him, but it is what it is. And to them, it meant more freeing up that salary than getting a player that's worse and not worth the money, which I understand because these restrictions are crazy, and you're trying not to get restricted like crazy. You can't. You're really like just locked into your team. You better like your team because that's it. There's no way
I
to.
mean, yeah. And you see the luxury tax that these owners have to pay? It's
Yeah.
crazy amount of money. I mean, they're making the Boston Celtics owner sell the team after the championship. Like, I can't pay this shit.
I
Crazy.
know I just won, but I'm in bankruptcy.
Yo, it's
What did it take
crazy.
you? Everything.
Seriously.
What did it cost?
I mean, but it's crazy. I mean, the amount of money that they're paying these guys, and then on top of that, like the luxury tax.
That's what's very important to like have players play. You know what I mean? Like Lewis likes to say, your presence is, one of the most important thing. If you don't
Yeah,
play, what's the point? Who cares if you're great? And that's huge with Mikal Bridges. I don't think he's missed a game since high school. Like
yeah. Knock
seriously,
on wood.
I think he played 1 year, 83 games. When he was traded, they played another. He played an extra game because he was traded on
Yeah,
that year. So he played one more game than 82. He played 83, and he's just gonna be always there. Hopefully, not going. I don't want to jinx him, but as of right now, he's always been there, and that just means that means something, especially with Anunoby being injury prone. Imagine have Paul George and Anunoby. That would have been scary. Imagine Joel Embiid and Paul George being hurt. That's
but
$100 million on the bench.
that's
A
why
hundred
that's
million
why I was
dollars.
afraid of getting Paul George. Right? It's like, damn, another guy that he's not going to stay healthy all year.
Their window's now
Right?
because
Yeah.
Joel Embiid and Paul George are only going to get hurt more and more. Their window is now because
I mean, if I was a Knicks owner, I'd be like, hell no, you ain't playing freaking Olympics. You sitting all summer. That's it. I don't want you to move. So I was happy that he played in the Olympics.
me too. Me too. And I
Wear
think
his ass
that's the
out.
game. Uh-huh. He
I
he
mean,
he didn't look good. He did not look good.
no,
I don't know if you saw it. I watch. I like to watch basketball. Now. He did not look good. He looked like he was playing the Knicks, and you saw his
no.
body being restrained. So
I don't know. You remember when Brunson and Josh Hart played for FIBA last year,
mhm,
right? Josh Hart was saying that he was having a problem with his knees because like he didn't take a summer off,
mhm.
you know. So
I didn't
like
like that
that
either. I'll be
that's
honest
just
with you. I liked it because it meant something. We have Knicks players there, but I did not like that Brunson was there because to me it was like, yo, my man, you play so much, you give it
yeah.
everything, you're always running around. I was like, Jesus, I was scared. I was
I
like,
was I was glad he didn't get picked in the Olympics though. I was like, no, my man got a rest, yo. He plays like 48 minutes a game. It's crazy.
Yo, with Thibodeau, you playing,
Yeah.
especially if it's an important game.
Even at practice he plays 48 minutes.
Yeah,
You don't
I
care.
believe it. Damn, Dominguez didn't come up yet. One more. But anyway, I plan on doing a American League. I'm thinking of baseball. Uh,
Fantasy league,
our division. What's our division called? With the Knicks and the Celtics and the
Atlantic.
podcast with just Atlantic. Yes. I want to do a podcast Atlantic next. And for now, I don't know if you want to say your last words for tonight.
Oh, we just got to be more consistent with this.
I hope next time we talk, there's this trade though. I think we need a center, man. I am worried. Not gonna lie, I am worried. I am worried, bro. I am. I think the rebounding is fine with Julius Randle and Hart. And Anubia helps out a little bit. Mikal Bridges help out a little bit. Hart's a phenomenal rebounder, phenomenal for his size, and Randall's a phenomenal rebounder. Mitchell's a phenomenal rebounder. A two is a pretty good rebounder too. I would like one more guy with height, and I don't want a 6'9" guy. I want a 7 footer, 7'1" footer.
I'll
I
take 6'10".
who Precious
I'll
Tex.
take a 6'10" guy.
I would too, but he's got to be able to, hold his own. I would like a
I
big guy.
wish we I wish we had Andre Drummond. I hate that he went to the Sixers.
You know, something about that guy I don't like. I don't know he's an idiot when he plays. And
That is true.
I don't like him. I would
Well, I didn't like him when he was with the Pistons because I think he took his career for granted. But ever since like, he kind of went to the shithole, he's been kind of climbing back up. So now he plays hard, but he does get hurt though quite a bit. That's the only problem.
something about him I didn't
So
like. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's just like he grabs a lot of rebounds. Nobody can deny it. He's one of the best rebounders in the history of the game, actually. He got a
yeah,
lot of 30 rebound games. But that's it. And I think we have that department covered. If it's just rebounding, that's all you're gonna give us. Granted, it's a buy to throw out Joel Embiid and Jokic, but it seems like he wasn't good defensively either. His feet are terrible. He's in the wrong positioning all the time. When he
well,
grabs
he's
the
old now.
rebounds, yeah, he's old now. He grabs rebounds, he throws it away sometimes, makes the wrong passes. I don't know. It's just not my type of guy. Um, so he's with the Sixers. They need him because Joel Embiid's injury prone. He doesn't scare me in any possible way. I don't even care if he gets. I don't care if a player gets 15 rebounds. Did it add to winning? He doesn't add to winning in my eyes. I would have rather got the guy they cut and that went to the Pistons. What's his name? I liked
Yeah, I
him.
know who you're talking
Dude,
about.
he could block shots. Can't rebound though. What's his name? I thought we were gonna get him too. I don't understand why the Pistons keep getting big guys if they drafted a center that's supposed to be the future of their center.
And
Uh,
they traded for a center who was a first round pick. They traded for James Wiseman.
yeah, to trade for James Wiseman, but to let him go this offseason, he went to the Pacers, which I was
Oh,
open
that's
to
right, he went to the
Wiseman, but
Pacers.
he's another idiot too, I think. What's his name? Paul Reed. I was open to Paul Reed.
Hmm.
He does a little bit of everything, not great at anything, but he can shoot the three. And I
We
was
should have went from the guy from the Pacers, the one that wore the goggles.
Jalen Smith.
Yeah,
He
I don't know
went.
why we
I,
didn't.
I would have got him too.
I don't know why we
Everybody
didn't
got,
make a
the thing
move
is
on
that
him.
everybody got more than what we could offer. That's why I understand
Yeah,
why people did it. They went for the money. They're like, yo, F this. Knicks can only offer 5. I'm getting 7 or 8. I know it doesn't seem a lot to us, but to them it does. And it is a lot. $1 million, $2 million more when you're making $3 million or $5 million. It is a huge difference. Where did he go again, Jalen Smith?
The Bulls.
The Bulls. The Bulls. I mean, the Bulls are going to be out of it, so he'll be available at the deadline. And that's someone you don't have to give up McBride. Let's keep an eye on that guy during the whole year. That's somebody what's he making? I think he made like 7, 8, 8.5. Okay, so how do we get there? 8.5. Because now we have to it used to be okay, get to like 7 or 8, and you're fine. Now we have to get to the full 8.5 without giving up a Chua McBride. You can give up Cameron Payne, that's 3. Bates Diop, that's 2.5. That's 5.5 right there. You need 3 more million. You give up Chuma Kuki
Sims.
or Tim, something like that, and you're pretty much there. And you take back like little million.
Sims, yeah.
Yeah. So you can get there with Jalen Smith. He should be available. He's young too. He's like 26, 27.
I'm just interested to
He's
see,
gonna be
and this is
available.
the last thing I'll say. Um, this is the last thing I'll say. I'm interested to see how OKC plays Hartenstein because one of the reasons why he chose OKC was because they were going to utilize him more in the offensive game. Come on, man. That's not happening. They got like 4 or 5 guys that can all score a lot better than this guy. So
They say that they want him to develop his jump shot so he can open the floor because they love 5 players that can shoot. That's why they were very negligent to get a center all year last year. And they love what's this kid, the skinny kid, the white boy that they got. He's really good. What's his name? The tall center,
yeah,
power forward. What's his name?
I know what you're talking about. I forgot.
Shit, can't believe I'm-
I looked it up.
yeah, me too. Star. He's a star coming. Chet Holmgren. They
Holmgren.
shoot the 3. They had Josh Giddey was their worst shooter. He could shoot a little bit, but not great at all. Now they're replacing Josh Giddey with Hartenstein and what's his name? I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know what their starting rotation is. It's probably gonna be Dort still. It's obviously Shea and Chet and Jalen Williams. Those 3 are not going to be touched at all. Hartenstein because they're paying him to start, and I think they're going to go Caruso or Dort. That's what it is, Caruso or Dort.
I would go with Dort. I wouldn't.
Me too.
He's
I
got
would
the
go with
size
Dort.
and he can shoot
Yeah,
the three.
yeah. They're both streaky shooters.
So,
Dort's probably a little bit better than Caruso, but they want Hartenstein to learn to shoot. But I'm with you. At this point of his career, I don't think he's going to be good enough shooter to become a shooter or even a 33%
right.
shooter. I don't think he
And
can.
he's gonna be a backup a lot of the
You mean
times.
when he
I don't
closes?
think he's gonna start.
When he closes? No, I think he's going to start. I don't think. To me, it doesn't matter if you start. To me, are you closing the games? Because that's what matters.
Are
What's
you
your?
sure?
They're going to
Yeah, I
start.
guess he'll
I'm
start.
almost guaranteed they're going to start. You pay the guy 30 million a year. You're going to start him. He's going to start with Shet, and
Isn't Jalen Williams a power forward?
Jalen 6'6". He could play power forward in some lineups, but no, he's a small forward
Oh
shooting guard.
yeah.
But he's 6'6". I know that for a fact.
Okay.
Could have had him too, bro. We could have had him,
Yeah, I know.
but I don't want to talk about that because everybody could have him.
It'll
Uh,
be interesting to see. We'll see.
yeah, we'll
It'll
keep
be
an
a
eye on
fun
that
season.
too. So there's no way we get him back though, unless we give up a core player. So that's not going to happen at all. We'd have to wait 2 years. I mean, they can cut him next year. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can cut him next year and we can get him back. I forgot how much money is guaranteed next year, like 5 million or something like that. And they can cut him and pay him 5 million and he leaves. But they're probably gonna pick it up because they have nobody in the books yet.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's only
all
three
right.
years. So not,
Thank you to everyone for listening. Please press the like button and subscribe. Any last words, Kenny?
let's go Knicks
Yep.
and Yankees.
Hopefully they win tonight, bro. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Have a good night.
Good night.